Yeah, this the path that I chose, this the life that I live. Don't got time for no hoes, ain't got time for no kids. I've been grinding hard for my biz, putting in time for all of these rhymes. Been on my grind for all of these years, been on my prime, the optimist shit, keep optimistic, been dropping these.
Hey everyone, it's Jess from Intitular Creative and I'm here with Dash. So tell me a bit about yourself, what you do.
So what I mainly do is produce music, make beats, and started off rapping first actually. Going hard with that for about the past decade and just really honing my craft, and moved from Perth, usually from Perth City, shout out West Side. Came here about 3 years ago and just been overwhelmed with the amount of talent and everything in the area, and got real comfortable real quick. Thought I'd stay around and get as much as possible done.
So what made you get into music?
I actually first started off as a street dancer, actually. I was in a dance crew called the Society in Perth. They're pretty big now. That was my first passion really, so like hip hop's always sort of been around me in my childhood. Ever since watching like You Got Served in the lounge room, doing fucking spins and shit. Even though through dancing I did express myself quite a bit, and in the dance crew like 30 people, it's a lot harder to express your personal life.
Lots of different people dynamics.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Knew that music was the one thing that always sort of stuck with me, and I carried a lot of sentimental value with a lot of songs and stuff, so I thought this could be, something fun to do.
And who inspires you as a musician?
It turned me around straight away when I heard Forest Hills Drive by J. Cole.
Ah, cool.
And that album really sort of resonated with me, and also like I grew up on a lot of old school hip hop. My mum was always playing NWA when I was 3 years old in the car. It always just stuck with me, like Tribe Called Quest and Q-Tip.
Yeah.
Questlove.
Yeah. Where did you learn these skills? So you were dancing and then did you just develop them yourself?
I'm kind of the type of person to equip myself well with everything we have with the internet now, so I've obviously everyone had their experience in high school on not FL Studio, sorry, on GarageBand.
Oh yeah,
I
remember those days.
Boots and cats. But apart from that, I really just dived in and sort of knuckled down with the YouTube tutorials, and it wasn't really until like I took music producing serious till I started at SAE Byron Bay and chucked me on Ableton, and that's the main door I use at the moment, and haven't turned back since really. Like I've fallen in love with the production side of things as much as I started loving the bars, because I've been on the bars for ages. Like now this producing's open so much more as an artist rather than just being a rapper who raps over YouTube beats sort of thing. So
created a whole new journey pathway for you.
Yeah, it's been insane so far just with producing. Like definitely a great way to connect with people and just share information and stuff like that, which is a pretty dope community around here of producers.
What do you love about this more, with the music scene? How is it different compared to Perth?
Perth, I spent about 9 years in Perth, and I thought, a big change would come. And there was a point where I wasn't growing anymore in my mental state and where I wanted to be artistically. So, I had some family friends, coincidentally, who was moving around here, so I said, I offered to go with them. Took a dive, didn't know anyone, and really just got immersed and felt comfortable straight away as soon as I came here. And that sort of moving here gave me the push to, alright, can't be lazy anymore, gotta knuckle down and start working on what I want to do. So what I've got from Lismore I want to give back sort of thing, and that sort of inspiration that's pushed me forward.
So tell me about Motif.
Motif, okay, so Motif is really just an idea I had with my friend to do just community work back in SAE. One of my producers actually, I did the first song with Big Buster, shouts out Gussie. But so we really started an idea of, we saw the unlimited potential was just overwhelming in this area of the Northern Rivers, and thought there's not a whole lot of outlet, even though, you do have places like Byron Bay and stuff, and it's pretty sort of contemporary with how they sort of run things musically and artistically. They do a good job, but I feel like the motivation just wasn't there, and people, it's overwhelming the amount of talent here, but they just need a push, and that's how I see it really. I'm just someone who's trying to push people to bring the best out in themselves sort of thing, and just go for it, because I know what it feels like, when you're in you want to do stuff, but you got so many thoughts thinking that you can't, and you make up excuses for yourself, and really, you just got to do it.
Yeah.
Just got to put your mind to it and get shit done, really.
Yeah, just got to do it.
Yeah, pretty much.
What do you hope to achieve, through the musicians coming into it?
Yeah, in endgame, I really want to just build something here for young artists who can't afford studio time, who can't afford engineers, who can't afford to lease beats for $200 and things like that. Like I want to be able to provide something that even if I'm not here in the future, that I can leave behind.
Yeah.
And sort of I can rely on the team to be able to have that consistency and bring that to young and up and coming sort of artists really. And I mean it's going great so far. It's costed no money, only a bit of hard work, and now shit's getting done.
So explain to me, your first cypher you've recorded.
Man, the Lismore Cypher. Blast from the heart.
Love it.
It really just, it cracked off. I had the vision of how I wanted to go by it, but didn't think it was gonna, I knew it'd do well, but I didn't think it was gonna do as well as it did sort of thing. And everyone was on board straight away. I messaged, a few homies that I know that rap and asked if they would be keen to get themselves out there, A few ones that have been rapping for a while, a few people that, it's their first time, was their live gig. And I was real underground, so I didn't know how it was going to go, shooting it at locations, and I was didn't ask the counts or anything, but I was it's not what it's about. It just defeats the purpose of what it's about, it's for people that can't afford to, or don't have a voice to go to a council and be can we use this space? We just rocked up there, set up the gear, and then went for it, and it went beautifully actually. Sweet as.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah,
so good.
Everyone showed up and showed out. I was so proud of, which was awesome. It upped my game a bit, I thought it wasn't going to be an excuse for me to slack off and sort of pull the strings. I thought I'm going to push myself, so these boys and all the artists that showed up push themselves as well, and everyone did crazy,
What do you notice, from being in a smaller town with music? Is it harder, or do you think it's better to collaborate more?
I think it goes both ways, honestly. I think in a small town with overwhelming potential and not enough outlet, I feel like people pin each other's competition, where by all means constructive competition is very healthy and it feeds that energy, but it's to a point where there's almost envy or someone feels threatened because everyone's trying to reach the top and get there, when realistically as artists, we're all in this together and we should really bring each other up. And you get people who bring negativity, but that really just fuels you more and sort of makes you sure the direction you want to go.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think small towns is really just, for me anyway, it's got me a lot more focused than being in a city and having too much outlet where everything's right there and it's easy to slack off. So I think just everyone's very hungry. It's not the big city. Big cities are popping off. Especially even places like Perth, which never really had that much of a huge music scene, and now got Homeboy Saudi, Nabi, and this whole 6K group there going crazy. But everyone here seems to want the same thing, kind of thing for themselves. They just got to figure out which way they want to go about doing it.
What do you hope to achieve? What's your biggest end goal in this?
My biggest end goal is obviously defining myself as big as I can as an artist, and solo artist obviously was the goal. And now I'm just very open. I eventually want to run this thing into a label, an independent sort of brand that I can use and everyone else can use, and sort of welcoming and produce for other artists, and just really build an empire from this really. It's not just independently, it's not just doing stuff for me sort of thing, which is easy to think of as a solo artist. Everyone wants to lock themselves away and hold their art as their pride and joy and not put it out there, but there's definitely room. There's so much room to grow when you just put yourself out there.
And do you think that's the hardest part as a musician, is really trusting in your work and putting it out there, releasing it to the world?
Yeah, definitely. It all depends on what vision you have. And a lot of things I tell up and coming artists is, first decision you've got to make is, what do you want to be? You can either be the producer that just makes beats for other artists and stays behind the scenes, or do you want to win Grammys from, do movie scores and things like that. But I think once people find out what they want in the end game, it's a lot easier to face what direction you want to go. And I think for myself, for example, I've been working on this for over a decade, and I only really just came out this past 2 years. It wasn't as an anxiety thing or anything, it was more of I needed to feel happy where I was. And especially as musicians, you always comparing yourself. Why doesn't my music sound like J. Cole? Why doesn't it sound like Kendrick? And you really can't limit yourself in that way, otherwise you're going to be living in the shadow forever. So.
And have you got your own solo releases coming out soon, or are you just working on them?
I've got a few releases on SoundCloud, and really just throwing jabs and sparring sort of thing to speak of. Feeling my artistry and finding my sound sort of thing. But at the moment I've just been overwhelmed with so much work. I have my album I've been working on late last year with the team in Byron, and then got an EP, and then I've got a cover band that I'm working with.
Wow, busy.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I dropped the solo song on SoundCloud January 1st, and then from there it's just been 4 a.m. sleeps every night. Up the night, doing all the business side of stuff, all the fun stuff, and it's very reassuring, and it gets slowly see things ticking off the boxes, and I'm learning along the way as well. You know, I might be working on this for 10 years, but I'm still new to this. You know, like.
Where can people connect with you and find you and get involved with everything?
Well, you can find us on our website, which is on Wix at Motif 8, or you also have Motif on Facebook, Instagram, and the main socials.
Yep.
And I know what you feel. You know, I'm keen to hear messages from anyone, even if people sending in beats that they don't know about. Even if they are garage band beats on, you know, the high school computer, send them through. I'll give some advice, and that's the plan really, just like, you know, having a safe haven for artists to come to where they don't feel so boxed in or judged, and you know, they can really just express.
And anything else you'd like to say signing off?
Signing off, well, I'd like to say thank you guys at Intitula for the huge inspiration and helping give advice with this brand stuff, and it's been great. Hoping to work a lot more with you guys and put it out there.
Yeah, everyone check it out. It's so good. It's honestly like so heartwarming knowing that someone is creating something so beautiful in such a small town, and it really needed it.
Thank you very much.
Well, we'll see you next time for another interview, and everyone check out Motif, and we'll be sharing out the Cyphers and everything, so make sure you keep an eye out. Thanks everyone.
Yeah, this the path that I chose. This the life that I live. Don't got time for no hoes.